Alrighty, folks. I need to clean up some of my communication because I was having a conversation with someone the other day that said, Mike, I heard you. I'm going to wait until December, just like you. That's not what I said. I didn't say that. So let's clean it up. We're going to have this conversation with Matt. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Mike. It'll be a fun one because sometimes I say something and I know what I mean, and then somebody tells me what they heard, and I'm like, well, that's not what came out of my mouth, and that's not what my brain received, right? Like
Yeah.
I had a good conversation with one of those brain people yesterday. What do they call that? Neuro linguistic programming. You
Yeah.
know,
I don't
so
know. Smart people.
everybody's neuro-linguistic programming is different, so that they're taking it different. So we'll try to
Yeah.
clear it up so everybody understands
Yeah.
what me and
I know what
you.
I said, but I don't know what you heard.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So this actually came from a conversation you and I had. We did our show Friday last week, so it's really current. So we were talking about what I expected, right? I expect the rest of 2023 to be slow. I expect it to be slower each month going forward. And I've had conversation with Brian in Vegas, with Beth in Seattle, with Adrian in Orange County, and I think it's going to get slow. And unfortunately, what people heard from that is they went back to my stories about buying 2 deals out of the MLS last November and December. And what it appears people heard is great. I don't need to do the work until December. And that is such the wrong thing to take from what I said. That is unhelpful, frankly. So, Matt, when we had this conversation, what do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that because I'm having the same conversation with people, and I'm saying, listen, I know it's tough. I've got buyers who are butting up against the term that was created, buyer fatigue, right? And they're like, you know what? I don't know if buying a house is in the cards for me because April, May, and June were tough. They were competitive. It was hard. And I get it. So I'm trying to breathe some life into these people and saying, hey, listen, Q3 and Q4 will be easier. And some of my wording, and I think where some of the miscommunication came from was like, it'll just get progressively easier. And so the longer you wait, the better it gets.
Yeah.
Not necessarily true, right?
Yeah.
The better way to phrase it and the way I want my clients to hear it. If you're listening to this and you're in the market to buy a home, be prepared for opportunity. I can't tell you if in the neighborhood you're looking, the end of August is going to produce a seller that's already closed on a house in Tennessee, needs to sell. And they've sat for 15 days. They priced it with a May price, didn't have the same action that May got. And you know what they're going to do? They're just going to say, you know what? Your price, your $15,000 concession, cool. I've got to move to Tennessee.
Yeah.
That motivated seller and you as a buyer looking for opportunity will not meet if you just say, you know what, pause, I'll see you in December.
Yeah, there's so much in this. First and foremost, if you're following what we teach and talk about at one rental at a time, it takes the focus and daily discipline 90 days, maybe 4 or 5 months to learn a market. If you just pause until December and start looking, you won't even know jack squat till April. You'll be gambling. So don't do that. Clearly, always, you got to keep looking. And then second, you never know when that seller will show up in your market. And the best example I have is I've told the story twice, but I'm going to tell it again here. Brian Lebo shared a Vegas story. There's a community, master plan community called Anthem in Las Vegas, Nevada. Entry level to this gated on the golf course community is $1.8 million. There's a seller who has a very nice house on the golf course that could easily go for more than 1.8, but he listed it at 1.8 because he wants out. The house, unfortunately, has a couple of cosmetic things wrong with it. The flooring needs to go, and the pool is not up to date. 100 grand, 150 grand. But the seller has to go. However, he lists it as the market cools off in July. No showings, nothing. He ultimately gets an offer at 1.1 from a flipper. The agent tells the seller, don't take it. The seller tells the agent, you're not listening. I want out. I am ready to move to Florida. take it. Now, this story gets a little wonky from here because this flipper tried to get cute and grind him for another 50 grand, which pissed the guy off and he kicked him out. But at the end of the day, the agent was smart and says, would you really take 1-1? The guy says, yes, I got my bags are packed and I want to move. He goes, I'll buy it. Entry level to the market's 1.8. This seller wants out, doesn't care, will take 1-1. Right. Patrick Bet-David tells us all the time, write disrespectful offers. I would tell you writing 1-1 on a 1.8 is disrespectful.
For sure.
But you never know. Don't guess. So that's why I am doing the work today. I am writing disrespectful offers today because I never know when the opportunity will arise. So when I talk about the next 5 months being slow, A, it's not permission to do nothing. If you heard that, that's way wrong. 2, it is permission to write disrespectful offers. You just never know when opportunity will come up. So, folks, if you're just going to wait till December, I'm sorry that's what you heard. That is not what I said.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing about it is that deal that was had today, you know, there's no like straight line where things are going to get progressively better. You might pay 1.5 for that same place in November. You might pay 1.8. Who knows, right? But you've got to always be working and actively looking to be able to spot that opportunity. You know, I've got buyers right now that, you know, are doing the work and they've got great agents writing great offers. I had a funny conversation yesterday where they went in about 20% below. 849 listing went in at 700. And I called the listing agent every time. I love it. Market research, right? And I already knew it was going to be a little bit awkward.
Yeah.
At that price point, the market that we're seeing in Northern California, people are getting list price. A lot of stuff's going above. And some sellers don't know that it's cooled, right? But it was funny. From the beginning of the call, that's rather low, to the end of the call. Well, don't tell the agent that it's over because, you know, we're considering and we might, you know, so, you know, 17 days on the market, a little bit of like, hey, we might not want to necessarily shoo away this bird in the hand.
Yeah, no, this is, again, the market from here gets cooler. You have to strike. You have to create. You're the buyer. You create the opportunity. The seller can always say no. The seller can take it off the market. The seller can do whatever they want, but their list price is just a number. Only write great offers. What I would tell you, I only tell you what I'm doing. First day listings, I ignore. 7-day listings, I ignore. I focus in my market 30 days and above, and I write disrespectful offers. It's just how I roll. But again, you got to do the work. You got to know the market. Any closing thoughts?
Just that it's game time. I'm excited about it. When I talk to buyers, like I had a great conversation with a buyer, you know, similar story. Hey, in my market, can't find anything for 1.3. It's frustrating. I said, perfect. Imagine how many people feel just like you do and are going to give up. Less people competing against you next month. When sellers are going to start feeling a little bit of stress and they're going to need you. They're going to want you. And all of a sudden, you're going to have some leverage. So it's good that it's hard because that means less people on the buy side. And I know what's coming. I know what's coming for sellers with less people on the buy side. A big like, what happened? Why am I not selling?
Yeah. So I'll tell you my personal experience, because that was essentially me in Vegas with Brian Lebo. So again, I was willing to go up to about 1.3, 1.25, 1.3. So you know what properties I looked at? I looked at properties between 1.7 and 1.5. That's just how I am. I'm not going to pay list price. I'm going to go buy a property that's, I'm going to go get a great deal. So again, if I was approved at 1.3 in Sacramento or wherever this person was, I would tell them, great news. Stop shopping for 1.3. Go shop for 1.5. 30 days old. Guys, you're the buyer. You have the power the next 5 months. Use it to your advantage. Where can people find you, Matt, if they want to get pre-approved?
Go to greatmortgagebroker.com. Licensed in 48 states. Happy to help. I got a great team. Greatmortgagebroker.com. It's easy. Quick little form.
There you go, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mike.